Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel's Mat Chat, and this is episode 255. Holy shit, this week has been crazy. Um, the reason why I'm recording this on Thursday night, I have my son home. He is sleeping right now, and I have to go out on tomorrow because it was his birthday this week, and my grandparents are coming in. My cousin's coming in. It's my son's godmother. So I'm busy tomorrow and it's with family. So I'm getting this in now so I can enjoy Friday. I'm hoping everybody had a great week. Lots and lots of shit went down when it came to CM Punk, the EVPs, which are Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. So you're going to get my thoughts after I do the Dynamite run through. Um, all in my opinion, with screw it, I'm gonna just give you my opinion now with on this. Um, CM Punk was in the wrong, and CM Punk needs to get fired because if you suspend them, they're gonna come back and they're gonna think everything is okie dokie now, and then they're gonna go back to the same behaviors. No, it's not gonna happen because CM Punk is out for CM Punk, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't like him. I support him as a professional wrestler. As a human being, he sucks cock, okay? The EVPs were a little out of line. Also, they should have never even gone to his locker room. They should have said, you know, it's going to be a mandatory meeting. Tony wants you in here. And if you don't come in here, it's going to be insubordination and you're going to be terminated. That's it. But the right people got suspended and the wrong people got suspended. One person was the CM Punk. Where do we go from here? Sorry. Where do we go from here? We need a new face. We need new fucking stars. And with the conditional release of Malachi Black, we need an overhaul. And with Tony Khan doing what he did on Dynamite, having a pre-recorded fucking statement, no. He didn't have the balls to come out there. He had the balls to come out during Rampage. And I'm sorry, but he should have just gone out there, bit the bullet, and get it over with. Because Stephanie went out there, they didn't say anything about Vince because it wasn't Vince. It was Stephanie that went out there to wish her father a great retirement, and he didn't come out. He hasn't said a statement on anything. That's his job. That's his bag that he has to carry around with. Stephanie had no reasons to bring that up. It's none of her business. It's not her business. And now she is in charge with Nick Khan and her husband and her husband's best friend, Shawn Michaels. There's been a lot of promotions. Triple H has been promoted for, like, I think he's like executive vice president of digital content or anything content that goes on WWE TV. Shawn Michaels is basically cultivating talent, basically. So he's going to be in charge of the performance center, everything. He is the end all be all. So that's that. I think they hired somebody to be Paul's assistant when it comes to talent relations. And he's still part of creative. He is head of creative. That hasn't changed. So that is that. And what else? I've already covered I've already covered stuff with Velveteen Dream. If you want, you could go check out my. I legitimately did a podcast on Monday, episode 254, which is in two parts because my fucking Wi Fi decided to go fuck you, Melissa. You're not going to be on YouTube to do a live. I may be doing this a little bit more often because I got to get my computer fixed and I barely having internet connection in my house. So that will be that. So just don't be pissed off that I have to record all of this. It sucks because I like to interact with people on my lives. Um, I also want to make this a. I want to take the time to. This is going to be in regards to my chat. I want to dedicate this show to Shy-Town Smart. He came into my chat on Monday, and I want to dedicate this stream, this video, to him. So I thank you again for coming in and for supporting me. And I was just like, holy shit, I was freaking out. And you can find him also doing his little stuff on AEW's Dark. He goes and he live streams and he does watch alongs with that, and it's on Mondays and Tuesdays. And also, he goes with JD from New York on Wednesdays for the Dynamite review. So go check him out. I have to shout him out. Sorry, I know aimless plug. But it's not an aimless plug, it is Harry's.com. Go visit their website for your shaving and toiletry essentials. Also, go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com and get all your beard essentials right there. Also, do me a favor and go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and get you their new flavors, which is lime, mixed berry, and mango orange. And please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. They've dropped their pumpkin. I think they're finished with the blueberry vanilla. They have also espresso, and you can check out the oldies but goodies, which are the dark roast, the medium roast, and the Valhalla roast. So go check them out at deathwishcoffee.com. Also, please go check out House of Glory. If you've missed their High Intensity 8, please go check it out on Fight TV. Also, September 24th, Genesis, and there's a lot of good matches. Go check them out at their website and on all their social media. Also, please go check out Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling in Pennsylvania. So go check them out on their YouTube. Please, especially go, speaking of social media, please go check out my social media. It's Mel'S Mat Chat on Instagram, which is Instagram, on Twitter, and TikTok. Also, go check out my Snapchat and Facebook. So let's get this party started. Let's get the what is it called? Hold on, I think we're gonna start off with Monday Night Raw's Fallout show from Clash at the Castle. I gotta clean my glasses again. I have schmutz on them. This is the problem with me having glasses. I would give anything to see without them. Monday Night Raw. Tonight will include a steel cage match between The Miz and Bobby Lashley for the U.S. title. Plus, as rumored, we could be seeing Braun Strowman. We begin We begin tonight's show with Edge coming down to the ring to address the actions of Dominic Mysterio from Clash at the Castle. He talks about how Dom pretty much grew up with Edge in the WWE. He also talks about calming Dom down for his first match in the WWE last year. Edge goes on to apologize for the accidental spear he delivered to Dominic a few weeks back. He tells Dominic that he's sorry for Judgment Day being around because he feels like it's his fault. Edge tells Dom he can hash out the problems he wants however he wants, but he is going to beat Dom down for what he did on Sunday. Rey Mysterio's music hits, and instead Rey comes out to the ring instead of Dominic. Rey is down to the ring. Rey goes down to the ring to deliver an apology on behalf of Dominic. Edge tells Rey that he's old enough to drink, drive, and pay for the consequences of his actions. Next, Rhea Ripley's music hits as she makes her way out. Rhea tells Edge and Rey that they both got what they deserved from Dominic. She also tells them that she turned him into a man. Dominic ends up making his way out. Starts begging Dom to apologize to Edge and makes things right. Rhea tells Edge that he can't stop his Judgment Day. And the duo of Ripley and Dominic make their way towards the ring. Rey hops out of the ring and tries to talk sense into Dominic, but he just ignores his father and keeps staring at Edge. All of a sudden, Finn Balor and Damian Priest attack Edge. Edge fights them off a brief amount of time, but Edge makes his way into the ring to attack Edge as well. Rey tries to make his way back to the ring, but Dominic and Rhea don't let him through. Rhea throws Rey into the steel steps, and Priest hits Edge with a South of Heaven. Rhea then hands Dom a chair, passes it to Balor. Balor then goes to work on Edge with the chair before hitting a coup de grace to Edge's knee. Rey comes in to protect Edge, and Judgment Day exit the ring. We go to commercial, and we come back. From commercial, we get a brief segment of highlight clips from Clash at the Castle from this past weekend in Cardiff, Wales. Jimmy Smith then lets us know that Edge has been taken to a local hospital. Next, we head to the segment from earlier today with the Miz and Ciampa. Miz is asked about what happened last week with Dexter Lumis, who was in his vehicle as he dove off. Miz says he doesn't want to talk about it, but mentions that all that happened was he drove off and went on vacation. Shortly after, Miz started talking about his upcoming match against Bobby Lashley tonight, but he and Ciampa notice a car has been flipped upside down. They check out the vehicle and then leave the scene, shocked. Up next, we have a fatal four-way match for the next challenger for the Usos Tag Team Champions. Out first is the New Day, which they shouldn't have anything to do with this. The only tag team that should be going up against the Usos is the Viking Raiders. Don't at me. Who get a raucous reaction, then Alpha Academy, and then Los Lotharios. And finally, the Street Profits make their way out. They said that they were done. How could they get back into the contention? They will be the 4 teams to battle it out to determine the number 1 contender for the tag team titles. Angel Garza and Xavier Woods start off the match with some good back and forth. with neither man getting the advantage. Garza then rips his trousers off, and Kofi Kingston and the two men are the legal men. Woods quickly hits the back, the neck of Kingston, goes for a cheap whim, but they are both attacked by the remaining six men. However, the New Day clean out the ring and hit dives before we head to commercial break. We return. Montez Ford and Humberto Carrillo are in the ring, and Carrillo has the advantage. Carrillo make his way over near Alpha Academy, and Chad Gable tags himself in. He then races to Ford, who is trying to make the tag to Dawson, but he's cut off by Gable. Ford then does get a hot tag to Dawkins. Dawkins cleans the house, then tags in Ford as they hit a double team move for a 2 count. Gable is able to tag Otis in, but he is quickly knocked out of the ring by a super kick. At this point, 6 of the 8 men are in the ring and on the turnbuckles. They all hit the ring floor, and a flurry of double team maneuvers lead to Otis hitting a top rope splash to Montez Ford, but the count is broken up at 2 by Xavier Woods. We then head to picture-in-picture commercial break, but during the break, Alpha Academy work over Ford. Chaz hits a blind tag and immediately hits the deck, and Ford power slams Otis. Ford hits the frog splash, but Gable makes his way into the ring and applies the ankle lock on Ford. As Ford is about to tap out, a returning Braun Strowman comes into the ring. Braun makes his way down and absolutely clears the ring. Security comes down to try to stop Strowman, but he's destroyed them and heads to the outside where he wipes out the entire tag team division. He puts Dawkins through an announce table with a running power slam. Now he fucking slipped. He fucking botched. Big time. I don't know if this is a good investment, but I would hope that Triple H has a plan for him. During the commercial break, Strowman strolls the outside and sees the carnage he left. He then grabs Chad Gable and throws him in the ring and gives him another running power slam. Due to Strowman's attack, the tag team match abruptly ended. Next, we have the new women's tag team champions, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, making their way to the ring for a match. Tonight, they'll be taking on Doudrop and Nikki Ash in a non-title match. Aaliyah and Nikki Ash start the matchup, and commentary make the point to mention that Aaliyah didn't do much in the tag team tournament, and it was mostly shouldered by Rodriguez. Doudrop and Ash may take the early advantage and get aggressive with the champions. Backstage, we see Damage Control watching the match. Doudrop and Nikki Ash hit a double team maneuver for a close 2 before it's broken up by Rodriguez. Aaliyah finally gets the tag to Rodriguez, who takes it to the challengers. Doudrop, however, hits a reversal and gets a near fall on Rodriguez. On the outside, Aaliyah gets aggressive and takes out Nikki Ash on the inside. Doudrop heads up top, but Rodriguez cuts her off and picks her up for a massive power bomb in the 1-2-3. Backstage, Megan Morant interviews Rey Mysterio. She asks Rey about the actions of Dominic. Rey says he loves his son, but he's fed up with Judgment Day. He challenges one of Priest or Balor to a match later on tonight. We come back from commercial break. We have Austin Theory make his way down to the ring. Theory was knocked out at Clash at the Castle on Saturday by Tyson Fury. He grabs the microphone to cut a promo. He said he knows things didn't go as planned on Saturday, but that Clash at the Castle was an absolute success. He also reminds everyone he is the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank of all time, and that he's the future undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Theory says he is happy Roman is still champion for a couple of reasons. First, because Drew McIntyre embarrassed himself in front of all his friends and family. Second reason is because he and Roman still have unfinished business, which he can legitimately stop in like any time. Kevin Owens' music hits and he comes out to remind Theory he got knocked out by Tyson Fury. KO says he hates arrogant and delusional people in the WWE. I think that he mentioned Vince McMahon on that one. I think that's who he was referencing to. And that Theory is at the top of that list. KO says Theory should be thankful for Tyson Fury knocking him out because either Roman or Drew would have knocked him to the side and would have lost the contract opportunity. Theory says Owens does nothing but whine and complain about championships when in fact he hasn't won one in years. Owens reminds Theory that he had McIntyre beat a couple of weeks ago and should have been beaten Roman for the title 18 months ago. A referee makes his way to the ring, and we have our next match. We have Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens, and it starts with Owens fighting Theory on the outside before Theory throws Owen back in the ring. However, Owens gains the advantage again and hits a cannon to the corner turnbuckle, and Theory rolls out of the ring. Owen goes to the outside apron and hits a splash on Theory to the floor. We had picture-in-picture commercial, and Owens maintains his advantage. However, we return from commercial. Theory has gained the momentum. After they brawl outside for a few minutes, Owens gets Theory back in the ring and hits a 2 count. Theory gets back in the control and hits a flurry of offense onto Owens. But quickly after, Owens hits a trio of lariats and Theory rolls to the outside. Owens goes for a swanton bomb to the outside. Then Theory puts his knees up to block it. And we head to another commercial break. We return from the commercial and KO finally hits the swanton, but only for a 2 count. Theory hits a slam of his own right after this for another 2 count. Theory is signaling for the A-Town down. Owens, however, reverses it and tries to hit a pop-up powerbomb. Owens gets kicked outside and Theory throws Owens through the steel steps. Neck first, Owens makes his way back in the ring, but Theory hits Owens with a neckbreaker for a near fall. The men make their way to the top turnbuckle and Owens knocks Theory to the floor. Theory, however, quickly gets to the turnbuckle, but Owens hits him with an avalanche suplex. KO hits a pop-up powerbomb, then a stunner for the win. Backstage, we see Ciampa pumping Miz up for his U.S. title match. Ciampa says last week Lashley got lucky. If it wasn't for he who shall not be named, Dexter Lumis, Miz would have won the title. Miz then says no distraction tonight will stop him from becoming U.S. champion. We head to commercial break after this. We get back from commercial break. We get a brief highlight package from this past weekend at Clash at the Castle. They then show Damage Control walking in the hallway before going to another commercial. As they are walking in the back, we do see Nikki Ash rip her mask off and throw it at Doudrop. We get back from commercial break. We have Damage Control coming to the ring. They put over their win at Cardiff versus Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca Belair. Io Sky also lets us know that next week we get a rematch for the women's tag team championships because between them and Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah, Bailey talks about pitting Bianca Belair for Belair's first loss in months. Belair comes out immediately, challenges Bailey for a match tonight. Bailey says no because it's Labor Day and she's not working. Then what the fuck is she doing there, honestly? Bianca tells Bailey that it wasn't just her that beat her Saturday, it was all three of them. Bianca also tells Bailey that until she has the Raw Women's Championship, she's in control of nothing. The heel group then leaves the ring as Bailey tells Bianca she's already beaten her and has nothing to prove to her. Then tells Bianca if and when she wants the title, she's going to get it one way or another. Backstage, we see Rey Mysterio walk towards the ring. We get him versus Damian Priest after commercial. Once we return, we have a brief backstage interview with Johnny Gargano. Gargano informs Theory that he will be making his in-ring return for the first time in 9 months next week on Monday Night Raw. To start the 10 o'clock hour, we get Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. Mysterio starts on the aggressive, but then quickly forwards by a massive big boot from Priest. Priest continues beating Rey on the outside and back to the inside. They get back in the match. However, as Priest charges for an attack on the turnbuckle, but Rey moves and Priest crashes into the post. It is short-lived, however, and Priest gets back in control. Judgment Day, including Dom, then comes out to distract Rey. We head to picture-in-picture commercial as Priest continues thrashing Mysterio. When we get back, we see Priest in control. Rey keeps trying to gain some momentum, and finally he does before hitting a big dive on the outside. Mysterio hits a couple more aerial moves to Priest, but keeps his eyes briefly on his son, Dominic. With Priest back in front, the two men head towards the top turnbuckle where Rey hits a top rope Hurricane Rana. After a miss 619 for Mysterio, Priest hits a spinning heel kick. The momentum is short, though, as a reversal head leads to another 619. The opportunity, but this time Dominic stops Rey from being able to hit the move, then leads to a huge clothesline on Rey, then South of Heaven, and the 1-2-3 win for Damian Priest. After the match, Rhea challenges Edge on behalf of Dominic for a one-on-one match next week. She says that Dominic will put Edge back into retirement. We then head to backstage for an interview with Bobby Lashley. Lashley says the only reason Miz wants protection from Dexter Lumis, but when that cage closes, he only needs to be worried about him, Bobby Lashley. After we get back from commercial, we go to the back and we see Braun Strowman says he'll go to more detail later, but we all need to know is nobody is safe, and we'll see him on Friday night on SmackDown. We then get a recap of Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle feud. They show us that after the match, Riddle said he wanted a rematch, but Rollins has no interest. We go to commercial break again. Up next is the main event of the night, the steel cage match for the U.S. title. The Miz comes down first, being accompanied by Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, he got his name back, okay? Just to let you know. Next out is champion Bobby Lashley. The fans pretty hot for Bobby Lashley in this one. Miz before the bell ever rings. attacks Miz with the belt and throws him out of the cage. Miz and Ciampa attack Lashley outside the ring by throwing him up against the cage several times. We then head to picture-in-picture commercial, and the melee to Lashley continues. Both Ciampa and Miz take it to Lashley with an offense onslaught, including chairs and steel steps. Miz finally gets Lashley into the ring, and the match officially begins. Miz goes for a quick pin, but Lashley kicks out at 2. Miz then tries to escape the cage, but Lashley stops him and goes on the offense for a brief moment. But Miz hits a reversal to gain the advantage once again. Miz tries to escape the cage, but is cut off by Lashley. Miz then tries to climb the cage again and is once again cut off. Lashley by Lashley. Lashley then starts suplexing Miz all around the ring. Lashley then starts throwing Miz to each side of the cage before hitting a suplex for a 2 count. Lashley tries to get a spear on Miz, but Miz ducks and tries to escape out of the cage door. A distraction by Ciampa leads to Lashley climbing down from the cage and running right into knee strike by the Miz for another 2 count. And we head to our last commercial break of the night. We get back. Lashley throws Miz against the cage and goes for a spear, but Miz blocks it. Miz climbs to the cage, and Ciampa tries to help him escape, but is to no avail. Lashley then hits a suplex from the top, and as the men get to their feet, Lashley goes for another spear. This time the Miz moves to the side, and Lashley goes headfirst into the cage. Miz hits a skull-crushing finale, but only gets a 2 count. Miz goes towards the door for an escape and nearly escapes, but Lashley pulls him back in at the last second. Lashley goes for the second for the escape out the door next, but Ciampa goes and for a swing of the door to Lashley's head. Lashley blocks it and goes to escape, but Miz catches him and connects with a few hits to the head with the door. Miz climbs the cage and it's about to fall to the bottom for the win, but he sees Dexter Lumis and goes back inside the cage. As he hits the ground, Lashley hits a spear for the win. After the match, Lumis climbs inside the cage and chokes Miz out as we go off the air for Monday Night Raw. They have to start. They have to start getting better. They have to start getting a better opponents for Lashley. There's AJ Styles. There's plenty of people that they haven't used in ages. NXT and the fallout from Worlds Collide. The show begins with a video recap of Worlds Collide from Sunday afternoon into the early evening. Carmelo Hayes, Pretty Deadly, Mandy Rose, and Braun Breaker won their respective championship matches, the latter 3 unifying the NXT and the NXT UK titles. Tyler Bate in-ring promo. They showed a crowd shot as Vic Joseph welcomed viewers for the global fallout of Worlds Collide. Tyler Bate's music hit to a loud pop, still coming out, looking like an extra from A Knight's Tale. Joseph and Wade Barrett put over his efforts in the match against Breaker. He took the mic and said he wanted to thank the fans from the bottom of his heart. The fans responded in kind of a thank you Tyler chant. He thanked everyone who watched live at home, who supported UK, And Breaker, he said, Breaker proved that he is Breaker by name and break and nature. Bate added after a pause where he said they created magic, that he grateful to have shared the magic with the people. He said his name will forever remain in the history books as the first and last NXT UK champion. He hopes he represented UK to the very best of his abilities. Gallus music hits as Joe Coffey immediately berates Bate. Mark Coffey and Wolfgang says Bate should be apologizing to everyone back home because he let them down and the whole locker room down. Mark said he let the whole UK down. Joe asked whatever happened to the ring to the big strong boy. Bate admitted the outcome wasn't what he hoped, but then he said they didn't keep their end of the bargain. Neither. He said he thought it was Gallus boys on top. Joe entered the ring, calling him son, and said to look around. There are three of them and one of him. Bate beat Coffey to the punch, but Gallus jumped him and they took out security. They beat on him until Breaker's music came and he ran down, taking out Wolfgang outside and then Coffey's in the ring. Bate hit a bop and bang to Joe and to send them out. Tag matches coming, 6-man maybe. Breaker took the mic, said Worlds unified tonight, and he says he would stand with Bate as they're going to kick Gallus's ass. Security led Gallus to the back. They show Pretty Deli with both belts titles, which one is the best, and he's like choosing between Brad Pitt and Chris Hemsworth. They went over the accolades. Then Elton Prince asked if they are the greatest tag team of all time. They did their shtick as Lash Legend appeared in the amazing sarcophagus dress or something. She said that some of the boys were criticizing them and they complained. They then asked Legend to hold the UK version of the titles. They took the others and angrily walked away. Toxic Attraction music hits, this time in an ensemble of black and yellow. Can we just have one promo to start the show that isn't interrupted by Bate or stupid fans? They returned with the digital exclusive where Roxanne Perez gave her respect to Mako Satomura, who told the off-camera interview she was disappointed. Jade Cora Jade, approached her and challenged her, but Satomura said she couldn't accept. Jade said she knows the final boss is scared, but Satomura said she already has a match against a very respectable Perez. Jade acting here was very, very bad until the very end in a reaction to Satomura walking off. We go to Toxic Attraction versus Doudrop and Nikki ASH. Ash and Dolan began the match with Ash running her foe. Doudrop tagged in and hit a falling elbow for a 2. Ash tagged in and hit a rolling neck breaker to, to a seated Dolan for a 2 count. But Dolan forced Ash into their corner and Jade tagged in, rolling up Ash for a 2 count and then flooring her with a boot. Ash fought back, gaining control with a bulldog and a 2 count. Ash had a sub in and turned into a neck breaker. She climbed to the top of a neutral corner, closed the announce table, and but was shoved off and to the outside. Jade followed, hitting a rolling senton from the apron to a standing ASH. Dojop came over and fell off. Jade hit, but was hit with a big PK from Dolan from the apron. Dolan had ASH in a modified seated Americana, then rammed her into their corner and tagged Jane. They hit a corner double team that ended with a Bronco Buster and a corner cannonball for a 2 count. Jay had ASH in a front face lock for a long time, like maybe a minute, then a side headlock as the tag match set up in the opening segment was made official with the graphic Jade hit hit a neck breaker to the floor, her opponent, but missed a running senton. Jade tagged in Dolan as Dojop tagged in. She ate a super kick, then took it to Dolan, then slammed Jade into Dolan and hit a running senton into both women for a 2 count on Dolan. Dojop set up for another corner cannonball, then hit, then went for a Vader bomb and hit, but Jade broke it up pin. Ash came in and Jade threw her out. Ash then trapped Jade in the apron cover and pounded away. Dolan was caught by Dojop, who hit Michinoku driver, then a running splash to a seated senton. Dolan for the victory. Dojop's nose was bloody, maybe from Jade's kick. Winner Nikki ASH and Dojop running splash. Oh my god, I am so thirsty tonight. They show a vignette of Paula Cruz walking into a marina or something with a journal discussing Grayson Waller as he wrote and narrated the video. He brought up the eye poke from last week, the second which I missed as I was typing, and said Waller tried to blind him. He said it's not a clear picture as the camera zoomed in on his left eye and showed blurry images. Cruz then turned with a bloody red right eye and then directed a challenge to Waller. J.D. McDonald music hits for his match with Wesley entered next. We had a video about Connor's Cure. J.D. McDonald versus Wesley. This should be a great TV match. Lee and McDonald, the latter whom is slightly taller, square off as McDonald took a side headlock, then a side headlock takedown. Lee responded with a chop, then a cartwheel into a backflip counter, leaning against the ropes to taunt his opponent. However, McDonald hit the apron and used Lee's twists to bring him down to the mat to regain the advantage. Barrett discussed Lee trying year as Lee hit an inverted monkey flip, a back, and a drop kick to send McDonald outside. Lee set for a tope and hit a tope con hero, landing on his feet. McDonald was in control as they returned using modified standing crucifix to lay out Lee, wrenching on the arm and hand before Lee reached the bottom rope with his legs on the feet. Lee hit a series of strikes, including a flurry of body shots before an enziguri to the face against the ropes, and then a kicking combo, and ended with a super kick to a seated McDonald and double stomp to the back. McDonald rolled outside and near the announcers, only to eat a tope and send him tumbling into the cover, the announce desk, and into the barricade. Donald grabbed Joseph's leg, who get reacted. He was in a horror room. Get off of me. Get him off of me. Get him off of me. Barrett, said Joseph, crying again. Shut up, said Joseph. Back in the ring, Lee hit a meteor for a 2 count and got hit with a counter short hook, but he hit back. He countered a power bomb, then a knee counter to Devil Inside, but he ate but ate a headbutt. Lee countered again with a sunset flip, but McDonald kicked out and held in onto the hand, using it to kick Lee in the face. Double a double inside later, and McDonald earned a clean pin. Winner J.D. McDonald, aside through in his finishing maneuver, double inside. They slowed. They showed Tony D'Angelo in the back with Channing Stacks Lorenzo as Pretty Deadly walked by. Kit Williams thanked them for their congrats, and D'Angelo offered them an espresso. Prince said they never had one, but they are champs. D'Angelo, how much is it cost to get Damon Kemp to turn on Diamond Mine? They reacted in shock that it was free. Wilson reacted to the shock to his first espresso as they berated the other two and walked off. Perez's music hit for her match. The final boss, her ring gear said Prodigy on the back. At least it's not the Prodigy like a certain Republican gubernatorial candidate here in Hawaii. A commercial aired about 1 year about the year of NXT 2.0 happening this coming Tuesday. Joseph and Barrett said you could vote for the superstar of the year. Satomura's music hits to a nary a reaction crowd, which just disappointing. Once her music started getting more intense, she made her walk. There were some reactions. So it's Miko Satomura versus Roxanne Perez. So I fully expected some of Jade's shenanigans in this match, who they showed watching a screen in the back, actually kind of facing the screen. Shocking. Joseph and Perez was taking deep breaths to collect herself as Barrett and Jade looked petrified, and she looked. I thought she was going to throw up, honestly. After slipping on the way up because of the legend of the final boss, Satomura immediately took a left arm, but Perez worked to her own hammerlock. That was quickly thwarted by Satomura, but Perez took a side headlock. They hit a shoulder tackles, but neither of them budged. Satomura then hit a spin kick to the gut and a flying shoulder tackle. She hit an elevated double knees to the gut and gut for a 2 count, then looked for an armbar. Jade fought out, hitting an arm drag. They squared off after the sequence showing respect. Perez went for her twisting head scissors roll up, hitting for a 2 count. They then hitting a victory roll and capturing the legs, only for Satomura to kick out directly into a rear naked choke. Perez then transitioned into a crossface counter as the two showed great chain wrestling and submissions. Satomura broke the hold, then hit a stiff forearm for Perez to hit a basement drop kick. Perez then hit a low to Satomura on the outside as Jade looked on, frustrated in the back, then left. Then turned with Satomura hitting her Cartwheel knees on Perez, on her knees nearly hitting Perez in the back of her head for a believable near fall. Satomura held a sub on Perez in the middle of the ring, wrenching on both arms. Hour two. This freaking hair keeps popping up. I'm sorry. Driving me nuts. See? It's popping up again. And this one's popping up. Jesus, and this one. Shit. Thank you. Satomura forced Perez back down to the mat, but Perez fought back to her feet. The two women traded uppercuts. I guess Japanese uppercuts and U.S. uppercuts. Perez came off the rope and hit a Polish hammer, then another, then a drop kick. She hit a running uppercut in the corner, but then ran right into a Mirko Crow Cop like head kick. However, Perez hit a Russian leg sweep for a two, and transitioned into the Koji clutch. Satomura her stacked her and stomped on her to break the hold. She nailed a spinning heel kick to Perez, then climbed to the top. Perez met her, landing a series of strikes, then hit a avalanche rana for a 2 count. Perez blocked a head kick, but was nailed with a big pig leg kick. Satomura set in the corner, then hit Scorpio Rising step up axe kick for the victory. Satomura shook hands with Perez, the two bowing to each other. Sorry. Satomura left the ring, so here comes Jade attack from behind with a kendo stick, and yep, it's happening right after Satomura left the ring. Satomura chased off Jade. Satomura then raised Perez's hand in victory, which seems to be genuine shock Perez. They showed Breaker and Bate warming up in the locker room as Bate thanked Breaker for helping him. Breaker said they're going to kick ass tonight and walked away as Bate looked directly into the camera. Joseph and Barrett then shifted it to Kemp's video as he discussed happily that the whole world was talking about him on Sunday as he turned on Diamond Mine. They showed his introduction to Diamond Mine as Roderick Strong introduced him to the group. He said the Creed brothers came dominant, but he got no thanks. He said Strong never put him in the single ranks, as Strong told him to be in reserve. He said Brutus doesn't like him because he whooped Brutus' ass in college, and Julius is jealous of him because Strong likes him. He says turmoil happens when you put two alphas together, and it's hard to keep a straight face. He says he gave them one last chance, but he shot them down and knew that was the moment. He said the sound of the steel chair hitting Julius's back signaled the end of Diamond Mine. He said it's not Diamond Mine forever, it's Demon Kemp forever. Ricochet's music hit for the match between him and Trick Williams. So we go to a commercial break, and they returned with Schism giving what looked like a convention presentation as Kiana James walked with her assistant, who I do not know. I don't know who it is. It's her assistant. James said she doesn't do free sponsorships and told her assistant to trash their smiley face buttons. She got on the phone and berated someone about Duncan. They showed Ariana Grace saying her schedule was too full to another assistant. As James approached about Zoe Stark and Nikita Lyons, it seems like they're getting a tag team match. Williams is on the apron, entered for his match This match is a continuation of Ricochet Carmelo Hayes' feud after their fantastic match on Sunday involved Williams. Hayes joined commentary. Ricochet immediately hit a rising knee. Williams rolled outside. They ate a baseball slide from Hayes. Give him a chance. Rick talked some smack about smack to Hayes. They re-entered the ring and worked the left arm of the bigger Williams. Barrett said Hayes needs to slow down on his victories as the arena is going to lose space for all the jerseys. Williams hit a big standing kick to the floor. Ricochet then hit a hard Irish whip to the chest first to Ricochet. A big corner splash followed up with a pop-up straight to the face for a 2 count. Ricochet tried to fight back with a springboard, but Williams hit the rope and caused Ricochet to fall outside. Williams commented on as Williams slammed Ricochet's head into the announce chamber three times. Back in the ring, Ricochet hit a quick possum inside cradle, but William kicked out and then hit some sort of swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count. William posed like it was Great Solomon, but missed and allowed Ricochet to bounce back with a springboard crossbody. Ricochet then hit a springboard elbow to a standing Williams. Hayes said Ricochet is full of himself. As Ricochet hits the recoil, Ricochet climbed to the top as Hayes said they've been practicing this counter. Unfortunately, Williams did move they practiced as Ricochet hit a beautiful shooting star press for victory. Cameron Grimes walked in the back right into D'Angelo and Lorenzo. Lorenzo readied an espresso for Grimes. Grimes said he doesn't know Italian, so he's going to say this very slowly to them. The answer is no. He said he doesn't need them. D'Angelo said the other 2 guys to say no, they aren't here anymore because they ran out on them. Grimes said it's not like them. Lorenzo said it's because people actually respect them. Grimes threw the espresso into stacks, but D'Angelo gave him and Uranagi through a table. Nathan Frazier made an entrance. Now this is the guy that was trained by Seth Rollins, and he was over at he was in AEW. They were going to sign him a full contract, but WWE stopped him up first. They returned from a commercial break with a vignette on Sol Ruka surfing, just saying coming soon. Mackenzie Mitchell was in the back with Diamond Mine as Brutus interrupted and he said he wants to break Kemp's face. He said Kemp is tough in a studio discussing a match that happened 5 to 6 years ago. Pretty Deadly approaches and says they beat them on Sunday, but the people don't believe it, so they're going to change that. They said the WWE Universe will pick the stipulations for their title match against Diamond Mine. Julius Creed said everything that happened, all the rage has been building inside. He takes out their bitch asses next week. They looked shocked. Axiom made his entrance with the time-lapse super speed. Nathan Frazier and Axiom match best of 3 series. Well, this is probably going to be a hell of a match to recap depending on the pace of these two. This is going to be like a mini version of the Fatal 4-Way tag match from Sunday. They lock up and immediately trade chain wrestling holds. A very British start to the match. They shook hands quickly, then locked up again. Frazier hit a big shoulder tackle, then went for a backslide, but Axiom rolled out into a sub. No, Frazier turned that into a pin, and then they just started trading pins way too quickly for me to track. They locked hands, then Axiom took Frazier down. Frazier dodged a couple of attacks, building up speed on the ropes, then hit a shotgun dropkick to send Axiom on the outside. He hit a fast tope through the middle rope, but his legs got caught. He's still able to hit Axiom and avoid anything catastrophic. Axiom was in control. They returned, having showed the pace and worked the left arm of Frazier. Frazier rose to his feet and hit some back elbows, but Axiom hit a standing kick to the left shoulder, then slammed the arm across the shoulder. Then momentum standing Frazier by the announcers. Axiom hit a tope, rolled Frazier back in, then hit a crossbody from the top for a 2 count. He locked in a Kimura, but didn't have the leverage for what is considered a strong person's sub, like Brock Lesnar. Axiom held on as he sat on Frazier, then hooked his legs around Frazier's body for more leverage, but Frazier turned into a vertical spinning neckbreaker. Frazier hit a combo, then an AJ Styles like moonsault DDT from the second rope for a 2 count. Axiom tried to quick inside cradle for a near fall, but Frazier kicked the knee and then hit a high sling blade. When he went for a standing shooting star press, but Axiom put the knees up and locked in a triangle armbar and transitioning to the rings of Saturn, but Frazier hits the ropes before he could lock it in. So Axiom just stomped on the back. Frazier rolled through a kick, holding onto the legs for a Boston Crab. Frazier went to a single leg, then a high angled elevated knee, locked until Axiom grabbed the rope. Axiom hit a quick Superman forearm for a 2 count, then hit his leaping super kick for a clean pin. So Axiom wins and he gets the 1 over. They show the security in the back, Hank Williams telling security to be ready for Gallus. Big body Javi, Javier Bernal called them Paul Blart Rent-A-Cop as Williams yelled at him to go away. Bernal said he's a big-time superstar while Williams is just security. Williams said he may just be security, but I'll beat your ass any day of the week. You prick. Gallus opened the doors for their entrance, so Williams had to go off with the security. I'm liking how they're building Williams as a no-nonsense character, but I haven't heard good things about his in-ring work. Gallus makes their entrance. The Super Diva vignette, yes. It's like Sunny Kiss and the Velveteen Dream, and don't at me. Yes, Time Quincy Elliott was on Bedazzle Mopped. I kid you not, a Bedazzle Mop as he rode through town waving at people. He said nothing is cuter than a boy in his scooter, and he was bringing all of it to NXT. He debuts next week. Mitchell was with Hayes and Williams in the back. Williams said he's disappointed, but he's still taller, smarter, and more good looking Mitchell asked about the 1 year anniversary as Hayes. It has been a year of mellow. She's she brought up an opponent next week, as he reacted incourteously. She said the WWE Universe will vote on this opponent. She said, "Don't get." He said they don't get to decide. He gets to decide. In the line of the night, Mitchell, you could vote. They were walk off in anger. Joseph and Barrett ran through some matches for next week's anniversary show. Bate made his entrance, pointing his finger in anger of Gallus. Breaker then entered with about 8 minutes until the top of the hour. Breaker and Tyler Bate versus Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey. Joe and Breaker began the match. Coffey taunted Breaker, who responded with a big shoulder tackle. He hit a body slam, tagged in Bate, and let Bate used him to hit shoulder tackle senton. Coffey countered Bate with a uppercut and tagged in his brother. Then a double chop the Mark hit an arm drag, only for Bate to hold on with a side headlock. Bate used his unique offense to extend his leg and then bring it back to kick Mark, while the headlock then tagged in Breaker. Breaker went for a suplex, kicked Joe, who tried to interfere. Then Baker and Bate both hit slightly delayed vertical kip-ups and standing moonsaults. Breaker and Bate did the old Steiner brothers taunt, with Breaker barking on all fours. The return with Bate turning the tide on Mark. Mark sending outside, hitting a leaping splash, and that cleared the top rope. Right in front of Joseph and Barrett, Joe walked over, only to be cut off by Breaker, but this distraction ref D.A. Brewers allowing Wolfgang to shove Bate into the post in the ring. Joey took it to Bate with his power offense. Mark tagged in, weathering some strikes to land of his own. He tagged in his brother, who landed a sliding elbow drop for a 2 count. Joseph confirmed Waller will face Big Body Javi next week, with a graphic as Joe hit a snap suplex for a 2 count, then locked in a bear hug as Barrett discussed the next jersey to be hung next week after Hayes wins. Barrett said, "We know what's going to happen. Mello wins," which leads me to believe that he's going to lose next week, most likely to Ricochet. Joe broke the bear hug to hit a forearm to the back, then knocked in again. Bate went for a sunset flip, countered, then kicked away. Bate was able to evade Joe and tagged in Breaker, who hit his leaping shoulder tackle and catching slam. He kicked Joe into the ropes, but Mark tagged in. Breaker counted Mark with a spine buster. He pulled down the straps, tagged in Bate, and went for a Steiner dog, and they hit Mark on Breaker's shoulders. Joe broke up the pin, then Bate hit a bop and bang to Wolfgang, standing on the apron. Breaker intercepted Joe with a spear as Joe tried to attack Bate. Then Bate hit his round lariat and the Tyler Driver 98 for the victory. After the match, McDonald attacked both men, standing Breaker outside and hitting double inside to Bate. He escaped into the crowd as they went off the air. I think we have some possible breaking news. Let me see. Kevin. Oh, never mind. On to AEW's Dynamite. Oh, yeah, I have to look for my notes, sorry. We started off with AEW. It was so the, we get a recap of Maxwell Jacob Freeman return as the Joker and Tony Khan's voicemail explaining the hows and the whys of how they came to deal. Tony Khan cuts a promo backstage. He says after All Out, he has been forced to vacate the AEW World Championship and World Trios Championship, and the new Trios Champion will be crowned between the Best Friends and the Death Triangle in our opening match. The World title will be filled with a Grand Slam tournament, concluding at Grand Slam on the 21st of September. The promo's a great night of pro professional wrestling, says AEW. He will be their best and the next couple of weeks. Maxwell Jacob Freeman makes his entrance. He said he loves Buffalo, New York, and talks up a local sporting man before getting down to brass tacks. Last time we saw him, he might have said some offensive stuff, but he thinks we can all agree he didn't mean them, and he was just kidding. He loves AEW. He'll never leave this place. He has to address the big fat smelling oaf in the room, and the world title has been vacated and a tournament of champions is announced to crown a new one. And if there's one thing that we can agree on, he knows one guy who deserves that title, but he works smart, not hard. So he's not doing the tournament because he's got a chip that guarantees a title shot any damn time he wants. And Tony also paying him a boatload of freaking money. But hear him out. If you think we're in dark times, we're not. And we can't think of a person who's trustworthy than a wise Jewish man whose name started with an M, who split the sea and leave his people to the promised land. Leads his people to the promised land, and he's not saying he's Moses, he's saying he's better than Moses. His name is Maxwell Jacob Freeman, and he's better than you, and you know it. Enter John Moxley. He gets in the ring and tells MJF he is absolutely full of shit. Crap, whatever. Max asks if he is not being sincere in front of all of these grotesque lard ass. He doesn't know if John a little woozy after going to sleep on Sunday, but maybe he got a point. Maybe he doesn't care about AEW, all these people, and maybe he just looks as the world title as a bargaining chip that he can use for a bidding war in 2024. Maybe he can take it to a real wrestling company where his friend and his mentor, the roller coaster or something, but it's Cody Rhodes. And maybe he could work for a real boss, the only con in wrestling worth a jo- damn jolly old Saint Nick. To quote his personal hero, The Game, that's what's best for business. Mox asks, it's time for Freeman needs to leave the ring before he makes him leave. Max tries to take off his shirt, it gets stuck, and the wrist before deciding to discretion is a better part of valor. Moxley tells him his theme music sucks as a parting shot. John continues and says He's pissed off and embarrassed and standing here without the AEW World Championship, the only material possession in the world that matters to him. But the belt is just metal and leather, and you could buy one yourself. But what matters to him is what the title represents. The title represents passion for sports, for business, the vision they had to show the world just what wrestling could be, to take the dark and ugly side of the business and let it die with another generation, to represent the freedom to be as great as you're willing to dare to be better than you were the days before, even just by a little. But the fact remains on Sunday he lost, and on that's on him. He got pinned, that's on him. He was supposed to be on vacation right now, but here's another chance to take another shot when the game is on the line. And it's a hell of a big rock to push on the top of the hill again. Chris Jericho, the greatest of all time. Bryan Danielson, a better wrestler than he'll ever be. Darby Allin, Hangman Adam Page, Sammy Guevara, all younger and faster than him. But winners always want the ball when the game is on the line, and he wants the ball. It just isn't winning time right now. This is time to be a legend. We go to best friends, Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, and Trent Beretta versus the Death Triangle, Pac, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Phoenix for the AEW World Trios Championship. Cassidy and Zero start trading taunts. Action started up quickly. Breakdown. Everybody popping in, doing spots. Death Triangle stands tall, but best friends slide in and back body drop them to the floor. Rocket launcher sends Orange to the floor to wipe them out, and we go to break. Back from commercial. Beretta on the back foot, but Cassidy in. Pac puts boots to him. Danhausen up on the apron, and Alex Abrahantes pulls him down and gets cursed. He shrugs it off and throws the Zio Miedo up, but Danhausen punches him in the ball housing. The bastard comes out among and kicks Danhausen down. Orange dives on him back inside, diamond crossbody off the rope, satellite DDT, nope shift to truck, and Penta Phoenix joining in, but Taylor stacks him up with a belly to belly in the corner. To the corner Zero with the lung blower, wheelbarrow, sister splash, still no. Soulful connects and Chuck tags Beretta in. Soulful half Nelson suplex, combination, zap, snap, zoom, hug, whip. Assistant elbow sets up a tornado DDT. Ray pops up with an ace crusher. Taylor nails him with a knee, and we go into some everybody do something cool territory. Made in Penta connects Bushgaki knee, duck the tiger feint, super kick reversed, the dude buster into a flip pile driver. Not enough. Truck cuts Ray off. Orange punch sets up Penta. Stereo awful waffle and dudester cannot keep that triangle down. Best friends run into a super kick party triple kick. Phil pile drivers connects. Penta gets Chuck up. Phoenix with a stomp and tornado. Penta with a tope con hero. Pac is legal and up top. Dark Order Death Triangle wins by pinfall with Black Arrow from Pac. Chuck Taylor winning the AEW World Series title, and Pac is made history. He's the first guy in AEW to hold 2 belts from the company. Dark Order interview backstage. Joe, the assistant, interrupts with a contract from Preston Vance and Evil Uno, and John Silver tells him to hit the bricks. Andrade El Idolo and Roosh roll up, and Andrade he wants to speak to Vance personally, and he leaves him a crutch to send us to break. Back from commercial, we get a recap of the interim women's title match and footage of Britt trying to apologize after her. Penelope Ford versus Tony Storm. Ford with a headlock takeover, head scissors, reverse kip up out of it. Schoolboy pin for one. Headlock takeover from Storm. Head scissors reversal. Handstand escape. Back to a headlock of her own. Off the rope, shoulder tackle blocks. Drop kick sends Penelope crashing into the corner. Ford ducks the hip attack and eats a drop kick through the rope. Tripping Storm face first into the steps, backs inside, and we go to break. Back from commercial, Ford in control, straight up suplexes. Storm sidesteps and hang springs, and Penelope goes shoulder first into the post, elbows off the ropes, shoulder block, a boot charging uppercut stacks her up for a pin attack. Tony versus Northern Lights suplex into a pin. Tony wins by pinfall. We get a dueling promos package between 2.0 on one hand and Action Bronson and Hook on the other. The Acclaim make their entrance, but Max Caster gets cut off by Shane Strickland. He's got a joke for us. The Acclaim as AEW Tag Team Champions. Billy Gunn cuts him off and says he doesn't know if he's listening or not, but this ain't his house anymore. It's Daddy Ass's house. Anthony Bowens adds in 2 weeks it'll be a rematch for the uncrowned champions are taking home the gold because everybody loves the Acclaim. Now, I'm not going to say what they do. It's about scissoring, and I'm not going to say it because I'll throw up in my mouth. That's all. Back from a commercial, Chris Jericho, some of his pals are interviewed. He talks up his gigantic win over Bryan Danielson. He says he's better than ever. 400 years ago, Ponce de Leon went looking for the fountain of youth, but in 2022, Cazon de Leon found it, and he's drinking it in, man. He's the best wrestler ever and the best sports entertainer ever, and BWBC. He's going to win the title back because this is his title, his company, and his locker room. And nobody's ever taking that away, ever. And when it comes to the Jericho Appreciation Society, he's got 2 little brothers, and Sammy Guevara is taking on Darby Allin in the tournament on Friday. Sammy says he's going to win, and Chris adds, "We don't like turtles," before moving on to his other little brother, Daniel Garcia, who knows he's going to beat Wheeler Yuta for the career title tonight. He's going to have to do it alone. Tony Nese versus WOLRD for the AEW Championship. This is all WOLRD from the jump. Win by pinfall with the power bomb. Symphony to retain the AEW TNT Championship. Post-match, Mr. Mayhem goes for another power bomb, but Smart Mark Starling pops up the apron. He pulls him inside to powerbomb him, but Josh Woods makes the save. WOLRD gets on the mic. He says he's been hearing that he lost it, that the momentum is gone, that he should do this and that. Well, WOLRD is the TNT champion, and this time for him to remind everyone that in the locker room and this business and all the fans that this is WOLRD's world. We get promos about Darby Allin building his tournament match against Sammy Guevara. Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson in the AEW Tournament Dynamite Wild Card match. Collar elbow tie up. Danielson with a side headlock, shot off shoulder block, test of strength. Bryan with a wrist lock. Page rolls through and reverses. Dragon looking for a trip, reversed Hangman into the corner, and Danielson breaks dirty with a double chop before bailing to the floor. Back in, headlock shot off, trading chops. Bryan in with the Romero special. Stomp to the knees and chest kick and chops the corner. Adam turns him around, chops and forearms. Triangle lariat sends Danielson to the floor, but Bryan puts him arm first into the post as we go to break. Back from commercial, Danielson stomps the elbow one another, one kick to the spine, grabbing his wrist and drawing him up. They trade chops, Bryan closing with chest kicks, with reverses, backflips, up and over, off the ropes, duck lariat, crossbody countered into a fallaway slam. Hip up, Hangman trying to put Rally together. Plancher connects, back inside, corner lariat, fired and carry, Death Valley driver. Danielson kicks out, looking for Deadeye, reverses to a pin, no dice, drop toe hold into the corner, chest kicks sets up the running corner, drop kicks. Frankensteiner, Buzzsaw, Roundhouse, so close. More chest kicks targeting the insured bicep and bicep. The Buzzsaw finale up top, but Hangman cuts him off, jockeying for the position. Avalanche moonsault, fallaway slam for a deep 2. Adams goes to the apron, but Dragon rolls to the floor as we go to break. Back from commercial, both men trading vicious chops. Danielson shifts, uppercuts, backslides, roll through, duck under, German suplex. Hangman lands on his feet, up, pop up, last ride, nope. Page puts him up in the corner and climbs to meet him. Dragon slips under and crotches him. Tree of Woe kicks to the arm, baseball slide, overhead elbows in the turnbuckle, in the back. Suplex is for your 5-minute warning. Little back and forth. The little bell lock applied, catapult to the counter. Back in Danielson special, shifting back from the armbar, trying for the bell lock again, but Page reverses. Falling knees to the shoulder, trading rolling elbows. Bryan ducks under to get caught on the charge with the Deadeye. Still no. A miscalculated leads to a projectile knee squared on the nose, but Hangman rolls out to the ring. Daniels off the rope. Suicide dive blocked, and Page powerbombs him into a apron. O'Hara moonsault follows, throwing Dragon back inside, duck, buckshot, O'Connor roll, bridging, American Dragon. Bryan Danielson wins by bridging O'Connor roll. We get a video package on Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage, and we go to break. We get back from commercial, Stokely Hathaway and his family. All Ego, Ethan Page, Austin and Colton Gunn, Lee Moriarty, and W. Morrissey. And cuts a promo about his ladder match victory when a crew member rolls up and to tell them they're low on time and to cut it. Stokely demands the respect he give his father and drops the guy with the mic shot. His boys beat the poor guy down, and ass boys lift him up for a big boot from Morrissey. We get a promo for Claudio Castagnoli versus Dak Hardwood on Rampage. Red Death, Daniel Garcia versus Wheeler Yuta for the ROH Pure Championship. Collar, elbow, Garcia with a side headlock, shot off shoulder block. Yuta with a single leg into a toe hold, wrenching it in. Daniels broke through and rides him, but Wheeler pops up and backs him into the corner for a double chop. Collar elbow struggling around the ring, spilling through the ropes, and to the floor. Back from commercial break, trading chops, Yuta with a snap suplex, kneeling on Garcia's neck. Cover for one. Daniel tossing him corner lariat. Sayu suplex, big fuller weight lariat. Nope, double leg looking for the sharpshooter. Wheeler counted to pin out back in big German suplex. Hanging in onto the waistlock, rolling German ensued. Daniel with a standing switch and rolling German suplex of his own. Yuta turns him out around for some more German of his own. Garcia gets some more. The Germans keep coming until both men are down and out, and we go to break. Back from commercial, both men are down, and the referee, Paul Turner, issues a standing count, 10 count. Back on their knees, trading palm strikes, a little batty to their feet. Garcia gets the better of the exchange. Wheeler beats a 10 count of his own. Daniel right in there with a double leg dragon tamer on is on in the middle of the ring. Chris Jericho is backstage cheering his man on as Yuta crawls to the rope and burns a rope break to get out of the hold. Big right hand from Wheeler with a closed fist and gets a warning. Drawing Daniel up, he rolls through Dragon Tamer in the middle of the ring. He reverses it with a headlock arm trap, crossface but Garcia posts up on his knees. Yuta shifts seatbelt pin, not enough. Wheeler with a double leg dragon death throws him off and puts Dragon Tamer back in the bending all the way back, and Yuta counters into the Mutilac, but that's not enough. Daniel Garcia wins by submission with a Dragon Tamer to win the ROH Pure Championship. Post match, Bryan Danielson comes to the ring and Yuta shoves him aside. Like, I got this. He shakes Garcia's hand. Danielson yanks the belt away from Garcia and puts it around his waist. He raises Daniel's hand, and Chris Jericho comes down, jaw-jacking in general agony. And that was the main event. So now, if Chris Jericho doesn't get the world championship, Daniel Garcia's got a lot of fucking bragging to do. So that is it. It's 3 shows because everything was go home shows, so it's really, really quick. That's why I gave you an episode 230, 254. Again, this was dedicated to Chi-Town Mark. I'm going to, when I promote this, I'm going to tag him into it, so hopefully that he'll get to it, and I'll make a couple of like subtweets and stuff like that, just so that I can get it to him. But please do me a favor, go check out harrys.com and get all your shaving supplies and toiletry essentials. Please go check out My Astro Classics at myAstroClassics.com and get all your beard essentials. Please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com and get those 3 flavors, which are mixed berry, mango, orange, and lime. Also, go check out deathwitchcoffee.com and go get those 2, the limited time with the pumpkin, the limited time with the blueberry vanilla, but the espresso is staying. Please go check out my HOG Wrestling. They're having their next event. It's September 24th. Genesis. There's a bunch of I gotta get the card and memorize the card, and then I'll get it to you. But it's gonna be a great card. They're gonna have the Briscoes versus Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Just that. Take my money. Also, please go check out Sanctuary and Outbreak Wrestling. Also, please, if you stumble upon me here on Twitter, please subscribe, turn on my notifications so when I go live, you'll know about it. Please go check out me on all my social media, which is Mel'S Mat Chat on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and also go and check out my other social media, which is Snapchat and Facebook. I will be back here on the following Friday, next Friday, and I'm hoping that I can get live and whatnot. So, have a great weekend. I'm gonna have a great weekend. My son is home. We're celebrating his birthday. He just turned 17. He's going to be a senior in high school, and I am not liking it. I want my son to get any older. So, have a great Friday, and I'll see you next week for episode 256. I love you all.